everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Emma Gerstein and I play second flute in the Chicago Symphony. And welcome to my apartment. Like many of you, I have been stuck in my apartment for the past few weeks, and I just wanted to share some thoughts with you on how I've been spending my time and some of the things that I've been thinking about during this very unusual period. First of all, I just want to say, disclaimer, this is what is working for me, and what works for me may not work for you, so take it or leave it. I wanted to start by saying that I wholly believe that this is, like I said, a very unusual period of time in our lives. You have to remember that my parents didn't experience anything like this until now, not even my grandparents. So I think if we try to think of this as being a unique time, we'll be a little bit more successful in tackling it rather than trying to treat it as business as usual. I have not been trying to come up with a concrete plan for every day necessarily, unless it requires it, because I think given the unique nature of this period, it allows me a little bit more flexibility to do things that I don't normally get a lot of time to do. I am usually one of those people who's busy 7 days a week. I complain about being busy all the time to my friends and family, but I think I really thrive on it. So being forced to slow down has been something that's in some ways been good for me. So my everyday goals for myself are move, which is a bit hard because some days, you know, we're not really supposed to be going outside. But I've been trying to do some yoga, just a little bit of exercise at home. I've been trying to read every day, read a bit of fiction, eat. Now this one, everybody handles stress and anxiety differently, and I'm one of those people who my appetite just goes away. So one thing that I need to be careful of when I'm stressed is I need to take care of myself and actually nourish my body. And then music, you know, whether that be playing my flute or listening to music, I want to make music a part of every day. I think it's okay to not feel super motivated right now every day. And if you don't feel motivated, let yourself know that that's okay. This is not your average semester in college. When I was your age and I was finishing my degrees, I did not have to add to the general anxiety of becoming a person with a performing arts background and entering that kind of job market. I didn't also have to add a global pandemic. So just kind of let yourself experience what's happening now. So once I have kind of gotten back into practicing, which has happened now, I've kind of been trying to work on things that I don't normally get to do. Not having a concert coming up has really made me have to rethink about how I practice. So I just wanted to share with you some of the things that are on my stand right now. This Philippe Bernold book, The Wind, the Sound. This is kind of one of my standard go-to books because it's a really good way of kind of breaking down tone production into different qualities. This Moyse book, which is a bit gross. I've had it for a very long time. I have markings in here from 1999. So there you go. Tone development through interpretation. I know other woodwind players who also enjoy this book. This other Moyse book, Studies and Technical Exercises. I worked out of this a lot when I was in college at Manhattan School of Music, starting with Robert Langevin. He has one of these exercises is like a daily study for articulation, but I realized I've never done the whole book, so I'm trying to get into the whole thing now. These Bach studies, they're just transcriptions of string music for flute. And then I also decided to go into my newly organized sheet music collection, which is something I've done since I've been home, and just pull out solo flute pieces that I've never done and try to learn them. And I try to be, like I said, very forgiving of myself. If some days I'm not really feeling it, I might do a little less. I might watch a concert online. Make sure that you're listening to music because you're not really getting that personal connection with your teacher right now or with your colleagues or in the woodwind performance class where you normally have a lot of access to the other woodwind teachers. You're pretty much on your own, right? And that can be hard. And that can also be a reason that motivation kind of lacks during this time. Take advantage of all of these free streaming services that are being offered right now. One way of doing that is to just, you know, all the major composers, so just go down the line. Start with Beethoven, listen to all the Beethoven symphonies. You know, listen to all the Mozart symphonies and piano concerto. You can really approach your concerto in a fresh way if you start to listen to some of the other repertoire by that composer. You know, really enjoy the fact that you can take more time to do all these things that normally are impossible because of commuting, because of your class load, because of orchestra rehearsal, because of chamber music rehearsal. I mean, all of that has basically been cut out. Rather than literally trying to replace those activities in your schedule, try to think about how that time being freed up can add things to your life that you didn't know you were necessarily missing. One last thing I wanted to say is to make sure that you're connecting with friends and family, whether or not you're at home with your parents or you're by yourself at your dorm. I have found it very helpful to get together with friends on Zoom or Google Hangouts or whatever. It makes everything feel a little bit less isolating, and it's been really nice for me to connect with friends that I normally don't ever talk to unless I see them. If anybody needs anything during this time, I am open. You know, if you want to send me some recordings that you've been working on, if you just need some advice, please do not hesitate to reach out. This is not your normal semester, so it's okay if it doesn't feel like it. Just lean into it and try to embrace the good things that could be happening right now, the good things to come out of this very, very strange time we're all living in. Thanks for listening to me rant.